So here's the parable. فَإِذَا دَخَلَ الشِّرْكُ فِي الْإِبَادَةِ فَسَدَتْ. Just like كالحدث إِذَا دَخَلَ فِي الطَّهَارَةِ. Shirk nullifies tawheed, just like impurity, whether it's an actual physical impurity like urine or defecation, or something which is spiritual impurity where you are clean like we are right now, but maybe some of us don't have wudu. This is hadith. Both types. Physical impurity could be on you, or it could be a state that you're in. None of this will be accepted if you pray in this state in salat. Think about how amazing this parable is. People spend hours on tahara on a daily basis. Half an hour in the shower, half an hour picking what he needs to wear, half an hour making sure it looks good, half an hour with his perfume, tahara, tahara, tahara. And there's another way that we know that people are affected from shaitan, where, and this is quite common as well, unfortunately, Allah preserve us and purify and aid those people who are going through this. Wasa, it's constant wasa. I cannot pray, but I know people, they have not prayed for years. They say La ilaha illallah, they say that they want to go to Jannah. They might even fast in Ramadan, but they cannot pray salat. I'm not clean, brother. I am not clean. My external state is not clean. And this is their whole life through this period. But just like the first example, the person who spends 3 hours in the shower, and like the second example, the person who never prays because he feels that he himself being impure, the Shaykh is saying here, you are talking about external impurities. What about the internal one? Have anybody thought about the internal one? How can you live a happy life when you're just worried about the external? How can you be a shakir, a sabir, and a person who goes back to Allah in istighfar and ibadah, when you're just worried about the external all the time and the internal is lost? And these people, they will tell you the very intricates about life and the dunya, but when it comes to just 4 basic qawaid of tawheed, they don't know them. So now, unfortunately, the houses have become like graveyards. And the Muslim graveyards are full of people who died saying La ilaha illallah, but they didn't know what the implications were. How many people have died and they've not prayed salah for decades? I'm not clean, my brother. My state, I'm not clean. And they died in that external state without knowing the internal purification that Allah wants from him. And the true reality of life and the situation for what he was created for. But also from this introduction we know another qaida, and the Shaykh has not gone into any of the qawaid just yet, but we also learn from this a very important principle, which is that all acceptance with Allah can only be accepted if you have 2 things. You have to be Hanif, and you have to follow the action in correctness according to the Salaf, according to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, with the understanding of the Salaf. He's made that evident here by saying that Ibrahim alayhi salam was upon the upright religion, the pure religion of Ikhlas. And just like your salah would not be valid without tahara, we know this from the Sunnah, we know this from the understanding of the Sunnah, all of your other actions will not be accepted unless you have this principle in your life. So just to summarize this very beginning, without tawheed, 2 things happen to you. Number 1, all of your actions are pointless. All of your actions. You could have an empire, all of it's pointless. Your life is pointless. Your existence is pointless. May Allah preserve us and protect us from pointlessness. And the second thing we learn from this introduction is that without tawheed, the biggest calamity will happen is when you meet Allah on the Day of Judgment. And Allah said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best of mankind, لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَطَنَّ أَمَلُكَ. If you, Muhammad,